Hi there, this is Karen with inspiredbygraham.com. Welcome to my studio. So today we are going to be making a Christmas card. I've got my grid paper all decorated in the holiday theme here, and we'll be using Evergreen Elegance. So here's the card. It's really simple, kind of like a basic stamper intro card for a new beginner, but also you can make these up in no time at all and have a lot of cards as well. So let's look at the products we'll be using today. We are going to be using this beautiful Evergreen Elegance, and it's called the Chevron Weave Ribbon. Really makes nice bows and easy to work with, and has a really nice pattern as well. So that is the ribbon. We're going to be also using Evergreen, Evening Evergreen. Lots of greens here, lots of evening names. And then here's the Evergreen Elegance stamp set. Very basic. We'll be using May the Beauty of the Season Bring You Joy and Warm Memories to cherish throughout the year, and also Merry Christmas on the inside. The beautiful paper we're going to be using is called Tidings of Christmas. It's a 6x6 paper pack, and it is on the in the annual catalog on page 133. The Stitch So Sweetly dies are also in the annual catalog. You have seen me use these a lot, and we're going to be using this shape here. All right, so let's get out all of our paper products here and see what we've got inside the envelope. So I've got my basic white envelope from Stampin' Up. I got the Stitch So Sweetly die cut. And then I have a piece of the Designer Series paper that's cut 1.5 by 5.5, and another strip that is 3/4 of an inch by 4. I'm going to be changing this card up, as you can see, by just changing the Designer Series paper. And then I have another piece that is going to be layered on this one here, which is 2 by 5.5. The inside panel is cut 4 by 5.25. And I'm using the soft Succulent card base, which is cut 8.5 by 5.5. And I've already scored it at 4.25. I'm just going to use my bone folder to burnish it to give it a nice crease. All right, so we're going to do our stamping first. So we'll need our inside panel, Stitch So Sweetly, and the envelope. So let's start with the sentiment. And we're going to be using, again, Evergreen Elegance. And I've got my stamp mounted on a D block. And my blocks I use are all from Stampin' Up. They are awesome blocks, and they have great height on them and a nice groove here to grip. So let me just show you what I just stamped. Looks really beautiful. Lots of nice fonts for Christmas time. And then we're going to take that basic white panel, and we're going to ink up Merry Christmas, and we'll just stamp that right on the inside. And then finally, you can use either sentiment for the envelope. I love the one that we're going to be using on the front of the card. It's a little bit more words. So we're going to just stamp that right on the front of the envelope so that our envelope is not bare. You can also add some Designer Series paper to your envelope flap to even spruce it up even more. All right, so now all we need to do is assemble our card. So I'm going to take my snail, not my snail, we haven't used snail in forever, right? Stampin' Seal, and I'm just going to add some right on both sides. I'm going to put this right on that panel, and I've got about 1/4 of an inch on both sides, left and right. Now this is really not a directional pattern. You can just choose which direction you like the best. I actually like these pop out with my eyes better, so I'm going to look at that pattern there and make sure it's going up. So then let's take our card base. We're going to mount that right on there. You could also pop it up with Stampin' Dimensionals, but for today's video, I'm just going to be using the Stampin' Seal. All right, so we're just going to line that up straight as we can. Give it a good press. And then we're going to take that Stitch So Sweetly sentiment panel. We'll flip it over because we're going to give it a little bit of dimension. And to do that, you can add your 4 Stampin' Dimensionals to kind of the like make it a square. And then what you do is you just kind of press these in the middle so that releases the backing, and then you can just simply peel those off, and you'll find them throughout your house if you're like me, sometimes even in my car. All right, so we're going to add this right here, kind of in the middle, and I'm looking at this curve here and this one down there so that it is straight. Once it's straight, just give it a press. And then ahead of time, I've created a bow. So this is a really kind of thick bow. So what I would do, it already has one glue dot on it. I would add 2 glue dots just so that we know it's got a lot of adhesive on the back and that it's going to stick, especially if you're going to mail this. Now, if you're going to mail this card, it's definitely going to cost more than your regular postage. So I would suggest maybe hand delivering it to your neighbor or a coworker as well. So let's just give those tails an angle cut. All right, just like that. Now let's kind of take a look at it. That side is just a little bit too long, so we're just going to give that just another little haircut. There we go. Got some little frays there from that ribbon. All right, so now the inside panel, we have that strip of designer series paper we're going to add to the bottom. It just kind of finishes off the card when you carry that designer series paper that you use on the front of your card to the inside of your card as well. Okay, if it does go over the edge, like mine does just a little bit, you can take your paper snips here and just trim it off. And that just kind of straightens it all up and looks more complete. All right, so we'll just add some adhesive on the back side of that panel, open up our card, and then we'll just add this right to the inside of the card. All right, so that's your card for today. Let's kind of take a look at them. We've got the Merry Christmas, and we've got this one here, and we have this one as well. So really simple cards that you can make in lots and lots of different ways with all the different kind of designer series paper. Now I'm going to show you a couple other cards I made with that same stamp set called Evergreen Elegance. This one uses the bark embossing folder. Really nice card there with the bows there. Same sentiment with a Merry Christmas and crumb cake. Love this layout. It's so elegant. This card here would not cost extra postage. Now this one here is really the same layout, except for the Merry Christmas is stamped in Evening Evergreen. And also the embossing folder that I used is called Evergreen Forest 3D. So there's a nice little background there of trees. And then finally here is another one we used with a tree punch. And this is in Sahara Sand with a crumb cake designer series paper pattern in the snowflakes. I also added some of those elegant faceted gems here. I've got 3 of them. And then on the inside, I carried those trees all the way to the inside of the card. So there are some ideas using Evergreen Elegance. I hope you enjoyed today's video. And if you did, please give me a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel. Thanks so much and have a great day.